Alright. We're live, we're good. Alright, sorry for the late start. I was just finishing downing my coffee. Because boy, I need it. Boy, I need it. Especially to come back to this piece that, oof. Got hit hard with the, critic crash. And that's what I get around for fooling around on a piece that I'm serious about. Anyway, it's all good. It's all practice anyway. It's all practice anyway. So, we still got a little bit of line finishing to do before I'm truly back to where I'm at. In the background, you can see what looks to be like the picture I was working on, but that's just the PNG. So, fortunately, can't really work with that, and having to go from scratch is a little bit disheartening. But again, it's all just practice. My wand weighted. Black. Good, 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 good. Make sure I'm on the right layer before we actually get going. And just gonna be chilling, you know, trying to get back to where I was initially. I don't really expect much out of this stream other than, you know, getting back to where I was. So, unfortunately, no progress will be made as far as, you know, what I always like to strive for. But some progress will always be done if we just practice. But it is pretty late anyway, so I don't even know if my regulars will be able to come out for me. It is what it is, you know. Sometimes you got supporters, sometimes you just gotta practice by yourself. That's how you get to places. That's how progress is made. When the stands are empty, as I always say. That always came about when, that came about because, back in high school, when I played sports. That was something that was always ingrained in me. Can't always have the fans cheering you on, so you gotta learn how to perform without even people being there. Now, it's nice to have the people there, and that's who you really want to impress, but sometimes it's just not gonna happen. Now this time I'm being a little more intentional with my lines. AKA last time I didn't do the lines, so this is a blessing in disguise that able to actually come back and do this properly, I think. Now, I will say that I am never using that tool that caused me to crash ever again, which is this thing. I pressed that, and it was supposed to, you know, I was trying to find a way to do a certain thing on here. I was just messing around, seeing what buttons did, and I pressed that, and my PC did not like that. And I don't know if it was directly, hey, Bucky, good to see you again. Glad you can actually come out. I was actually a little afraid that since I am at my normal starting time rather than earlier, people weren't going to be able to come out and join me. But as always, I am glad to see a familiar face. How has your day been? Hopefully it's going well. And we're pretty much almost done with the lines here. Well, sketching in the lines. Because I'm going to go back and start erasing these rough edges lines. I'm doing it on purpose to overextend my lines because last time I had an issue of I was missing some connections to my lines, and coloring was a nightmare sometimes. I'm trying to be a little more intentional of closing my lines, even if that means overextending. I can always go back with my eraser. My day is doing well, other than dealing with this mess of trying to not go crazy with the idea that I lost so much progress. But as long as I keep my head in the right place, you know, everything I do is practice. So, you know, the more practice I get, the better I'll become. That's what I'm choosing to keep my mind focused on. So, trying to stay positive in a very, very dreary situation. Now we're gonna go back and try to clean up some of those lines before we start recoloring. Oof. But other than that, my day's, you know, busy. So the busier I am, the more content I always feel. Even if I hate my work. As long as I am doing something. Nowadays, I wish I could just spend 24/7 drawing, because I am just loving it so much, but it is what it is. Gotta find balance in things. Trying to make improvements on this as I go, since I was unfortunate to have a second go at this. Alright. I think we can lower the opacity of that even more. That way, I can see what lines I need to actually clean up. Imperfections in the hair, I'm generally going to keep. I'm on the wrong layer. Of course I am. Story of my life. Wrong layer. Well, at least it's not the pinky issue anymore that I used to have. So pretty much we're just gonna go around cleaning up some of the lines, because you know, last time I did a really sloppy job. Imperfections in the hair, definitely gonna keep. Not the eyebrows. Eyebrows need to be clean. Maybe I might keep the eyebrows like funky for some people, but not for Samus. Wanna make sure they're nice and oops, not that sharp, where there's nothing left. Thank you for being human. You're welcome. I guess I will take that as a you know, comfort. It is it is humbling. You know, getting stuff done and trying to progress too quickly. You know, sometimes you can overlook things, and you know, I think I learned my lesson. Don't play around with programs on a piece you're trying to be serious with. That is my main lesson. Oh no. But yeah. Being staying human is a good perspective to keep. You know, things happen to everyone, and it could have been worse. You know, I could have been in an actual school where I'm being graded, and this could have been my test. You know, this could have been what made or break my career. So, always got to look at the greener pastures. You know, I'm not being tested. I'm not being judged. This was an inconvenience at best. So, what is that line? Oh, that was an extension of the eyebrow. I like that though. Staying human. Don't want to become a bot. And I am speaking of bots. I see this already. This was the same. That was actually a mistake. One of the lines I left open on my previous piece. It may be weird that I am, you know, cutting corners here and there to try to go faster, but in all, learning how to speed up my artwork is also something I need to work on. So, you know, everything is trading. And that might just be the coffee talking because I'm starting to feel it, and I feel the energy kicking in, which is exactly what I needed. Man, I love coffee. I wish, you know, I could go to a coffee shop and get a latte, but that's just not possible anymore. And I really don't want to buy a latte machine. I heard they're really a pain to clean. Or maintain, I don't know. You know, despite my name being Latte Night, I actually have not had a latte in quite a while. I usually, nowadays, just drink my coffee black because it's cheaper, and I need to save money. Oh no! This light is not connected. What the heck? Oh, did I have it on a 2? I guess that looks better. And I am such on a ramble mood right now. Just because, you know, I have this task in front of me. I just kind of want to talk about anything and everything. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I have so many things I want to talk about, and it's just like all jumbled up in my head because I'm so focused on one thing, and then the coffee's going, and I chowed down some food right now, right before I started streaming, because just talk about them. I know it's so hard to like actually stop and like decide what I'm actually going to talk about. Most of the time when I get like this, I spend like 90% of my time talking about how much I want to talk. It annoys some of my older friends. But man, do I miss going to coffee shops. That's probably the main thing. Like, I have a coffee shop that unfortunately closed down near me. It was kind of like my go-to. And man, I miss their stuff. They had a one of my favorite things. It probably the worst thing in the world. Um, it was an Oreo cookie latte. Oh, it was so sweet. It was so good. But man, that was like diabetes in a cup. How sweet it was. I miss it, man. It's so like working from home and like really like I don't know, trying to progress so much. I don't know. There's just something about like um, studying or working late at night in a cafe that just is a lot easier for me. Like right now, I'm chill because especially when you or Gabrielle show up, I have people to talk to, which gets my mind off of stuff and allows me to just like turn off uh, my brain for like tasks like this. But like in a coffee shop, I would normally I was by myself anyway, but I would always use like the surrounding atmosphere and the people chatting to like be that distraction for me. It was great. And then I like every once in a while I had like people come up to me and like start talking to me. I don't know if it was just like this coffee shop, but like there's something in the coffee that made people extra friendly, I think. Because I've had some great conversations with strangers that just sat at my table. And then they realized that I was studying, and then they would apologize for interrupting me. Was there any alcohol involved? Not to my knowledge. I don't really drink alcohol. Don't really care for the stuff. Never really. I don't know if that's even a thing. Is that a thing? Like alcoholic coffee? Surely someone's done it out there. Two addictions in one. Why not? Well, I mean, other than the horrible health issues that comes with, you know, taking anything with alcohol. I don't know. I think it was more the atmosphere. It was a small little place. It wasn't like it was a local shop, so it wasn't like a major Starbucks chain. And I think like the small lobby and it just felt more homey. You know, that people kind of just opened up, kind of like small little family. Especially like I guess I was a regular, so people would come in and see me. I was always there studying. I would get free stuff sometimes too. Anytime the owner uh, had a new flavor or something new on the menu, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to try this. Is it good?" He'd always give me stuff. I was this little guinea pig for new stuff on the menu. It was a great little place. Back when I actually had a social life. Nowadays, it's like The most I talk to people is like small little conversations 10 feet away or over a computer screen. Now, the funniest little story from there is there was a girl and she thought I was her date. I don't know if it was like a blind date or whatever, but she sat down on my table, started talking to me, and I said, I don't know who you're talking about. And she thought I was playing around until she got a text message. And then she spent the next like 20 minutes apologizing to me. That was fun. I didn't flirt back? Nah, dude. Like, it was clear to begin with that she was there for someone else. I wasn't gonna, uh, come in and ruin someone else's day by flirting. Plus, I had a test to study for. So, I was actually quite annoyed she was there bothering me. I'm not really much of a flirt myself, other than flirting with death, apparently. Nerd. Yeah, yeah, I really am. Not like I grew up with comic books or nothing, you know. Yeah, I mean, what do you mean flirting with death? Oh, when I was a kid, I've had many of a anytime I went outside, near death experience. Well, at least, you know, on like trips, I had something going on with me at all times. Choking, nearly falling downstairs, stuff like that. Luckily, I grew out of my clumsy state. Uh, Martial arts definitely helped with that. Taught me to be more aware of my surroundings. Then I became hyper paranoid and always constantly looking at my surroundings. I was just one of those people that did not care what was going on around me when I was younger. Like, there could have been a fire and I probably would have missed it, walked right into it. I was so unattentive. Nowadays, I look at every little detail on people. I love looking at little details. One of the things I was actually studying when I was in university was psychology, just because of how much I loved details like that. And that's because of my martial arts training. It really got me addicted to looking for details that people normally miss. funny thing is a lot of that stuff, like being aware and everything, it's not so much of catching details as much as it is um, knowing where and when to look. Think you can lose track of your surroundings looking at a person? Oh, absolutely. Depending on how attentive you're looking at the person, um, surroundings can definitely fade to the background. That's why one of the when I was actually doing the what is it called? Actual training for security and personal safety, that they taught me never to actually look at a person that is talking. You're always looking behind them. What do I mean by, well, when you start talking to a person, or you have any amount of interest in a person, let's say that girl that you were like, oh, you didn't flirt back. If I would have had done that, I totally could have missed the fact that she was there for not me. I could have easily been, swept up by the fact that she was dressed up for a date, or, stuff like that. You can miss critical details by overlooking them for face value. A lot of it comes down to body language, or key clues like how a person is dressed. You gotta put that all together. It's like a puzzle. And if you miss one piece of the puzzle because you're too attentive on one piece of the puzzle, then you don't have the full picture. Like back when I was studying psychology, one of my tasks, not tasks, what do they call it in school? Uh, Projects, I guess. I had a project, which was to look at people's body language with headphones on. And what that did was it eliminated the fact of relying on what a person was saying, because um, a lot of people will try to dress up their words, and the task was to, see if what they were saying lined up with how they were saying it. So you can definitely lose track of your surroundings by paying too close attention to one aspect of a person. You always have to be mindful that perhaps you're not always getting the full story. And you have to look for, I don't want to say clues because that makes it sound so corny, but you have to look for either key features to help support your story. That's why it's a not story, but your hypothesis. That's why it's a science, because you're constantly always having to prove and disprove what you are assuming about the person. And there's never a right answer. It's always a constant mutation. And I mean, situations can change that even in martial arts, they teach you. A person. Did I not connect that? I didn't. A person that is a threat at one point may not be a threat at another point. Like if you're in a bar scene and someone gets out of hand, they could have the body language of a threatening person, whether they are drunk or sober. However, that does not mean that they are always going to be a threat. Someone could talk them down. And if you were to just judge a person based off of your first body language observation, then of course you're just going to assume that person is a threat. So you constantly, once you have an assessment of a person, you have to then redo the assessment almost immediately, because by the time you finish assessing a person, they've probably already become a new type of category of threat level. Yeah, because I haven't talked about that stuff in such a long time. It's so foggy now. It's like, oh man. I know like there are some things that were like straight out of the book, but other things it's just I don't know. I forget a lot. What happened? Geometry options. What happened here? Oh. As someone who doesn't punch people in the face for a living, you think viewing the world as is he a threat to me is probably the wrong mindset. It is. It definitely is when it doesn't need to be called for. I had a hard time readjusting my viewpoint because I was pounded with that viewpoint. And it is unhealthy. It is very unhealthy. You become very shallow with people because you're constantly trying to assess them for threat levels. So, even while you're talking, like I said, a lot of communication is done through body language. Excuse me, my throat is getting dry from talking so much. As you're taught to look through a person and not at the person in order to continue your surroundings, you give off the thing of shallowness. So naturally your body language is very shallow, which can lead to shallow conversations and shallowness in relationship building. Take it from me. Consume coffee. I had just finished my cup and I would have to go make a new pot. Luckily, I have water with me. Take it from me as a person that did struggle to change my viewpoint. It does damage relationships for sure. It is not healthy, one bit. You know, I thought I was fine until someone had to point it out to me, which, bless their soul, actually worked through it with me, despite having her own issues. So, it is, I would definitely agree that it is the wrong mindset to have. I don't think it's healthy one bit. Like, I know it's necessary for some jobs, but if you can't do that switch, ooh, be ready for, be ready for it to leak into your real life and your social life for that matter. Oh, her pistol does have a muzzle? Dang it. I didn't account for a muzzle. Okay. Going off script, drawing a muzzle. Maybe use the line tool if you want a straight line, doofus. But yeah, uh, it's funny that you should say like, "Oh, drink coffee to get my throat up uh, from being raspy." Coffee actually hurts my throat sometimes. As much as I love it, um, it actually makes my throat tired. Probably not the best thing to say when I drink coffee right before a stream. That applies to all coffee? Uh, if it's like the problem is, um, if coffee doesn't stay warm, I think, because normally I drink a lot of cold coffee, so anything that's cold really damages my throat. If it's warm, I think it, can help clear it up. But for the most part, I drink a lot of cold stuff. Even my coffee is cold. I make a pot in the morning and I constantly just drink it all throughout the day. Not a full pot, of course. How do I want to draw that? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't apply to all coffee, it applies to all cold drinks. I didn't center that well. Probably want my weighted tool so we can get some not so crazy lines. How does that look? Does that look at least centered a little bit? Okay. Like when I drink coffee, I need it for the intellectual boost, if you will. I don't use it for the social aspect of, because again, it makes me a little weird. As you, I feel like I went like on a, that I was talking at like 1,000,000 miles per second. I don't know how it seems to you, but that's how it seems to me. I felt like I was going like crazy quick in talking. Now I'm getting that low energy, not low energy, but like that almost crash like aspect where I have now spoken about everything that I wanted to speak about. All in the matter of like 10 minutes. Hello. Welcome. Why can't I see your name? Oh, there it is. Hello, I'm about to get out of the game. Welcome. It is so nice to see a new face. I'm curious, how did you, was it the tweet? Or did you just happen to come across me on YouTube? But otherwise, welcome. You just missed a a pretty good rant of me just literally talking about nothing for like an hour. I talked about everything and nothing at the same time. Alright. I think that's a good fix on the pistol. Now I have to remember where I was. I came across you on YouTube? Awesome! I didn't think I would actually show up in anyone's algorithm. That's amazing. Welcome. I appreciate. This man likes to watch people. Don't make me sound creepy to the new people. I'm not creepy. I have a history with psychology. That's what I was talking about earlier. I'm not uh some crazy man just like with my binoculars. But I do write backstories. I am currently trying to learn how to draw. You like watermelon and bread? I mean, I am allergic to watermelon, but I do love bread. So, there's that. Watermelon messes up my throat pretty badly. I have no idea if that's a reference either. I'm extremely boomer, so like any pop culture references are gonna like really be over my head. Having them together though? I have no idea if that's what you meant. Uh I have never tried watermelon with bread. Uh Again, being allergic to watermelon probably puts me at a cap for how much watermelon I could, potentially devour, especially with bread. So can't say I've done that. That's a new one on me. I don't think I ate a lot of fruit with bread. Now that I think about it. It's huh. You like K-pop? I like some K-pop. Don't speak Korean, but I like some of their beats. Um, I have I have an old MMO buddy. She is very much into K-pop, and she's the one that actually introduced me to K-pop. I don't like necessarily follow or know too much, but if it comes up on like my random radios, I do like a lot of their stuff. And I will say there was one that had this really cool rap. I need to go back and find it. It was this dude. It was a really cool rap. Oh, that's true. Uh, Bananas on peanut butter and jelly. But yeah, K-pop is pretty cool. It's very interesting to me, considering I don't speak the language. So I can only judge it so much. Can I curse? Yeah, curse. I don't care. This stream's not for children, um, necessarily. I don't really care if you curse or not. I personally probably won't curse, but that's just in my older days I cursed way too much, so I think I always say that I cursed enough when I was a teen. Yeah, you can say whatever you want as long as YouTube doesn't get you. I can pretty much care less. Just as long as it's not like, you know, hateful. If you want to curse at me, go for it. But I generally don't like to put too many bad vibes out there, you know? I used to punch people. I put enough bad vibes out there. My names are okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. strange because sometimes your name is coming up and sometimes it's not. So I don't know if YouTube's not liking you. But I'm not doing anything on my end. Like sometimes your name's not coming up in my chat. Or did you switch your name to Can I Curse? Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, your names are fine. You know, it's pretty hard. I changed my names to the first sentence. You saw? Okay, you're gonna need to explain that one, because your name is Can I Curse? When did I see that? Oh, do you just like put random things in the chat and the first thing I pay attention to, that's what you change my name to? Or change your name to? I didn't think you could change your name on YouTube that quickly. I thought like there was like a cooldown. Yeah, it's Starving to Death. It's like a children's game. Yeah. Yeah, I thought there was like a cooldown for that. I guess not. I mean, go at it. I have fun. But or was it Twitter that there was a cooldown? Might have been Twitter. Because I did create both at the same time, essentially, in order to create this channel. So I might be mixing up Twitter rules with YouTube rules. That is gonna make it very confusing for me though, because I'm just gonna have to rely on your picture. Because normally I abbreviate people's names that come in, because some names are like ridiculously long, and I'm like I don't have enough time to say that if I'm like pushing you into a conversation or if I'm chatting with you. So like I'd probably just call you Starving at this point. Oh, interesting. Oops, back. Yeah, I have a like very short attention spans. So when I look over a chat, it's like for a millisecond. So sometimes shorter names are better for me. At least when communicating with you guys. That's why I abbreviate stuff. Like, I know Lucky has like, yeah, ABX at the end of his name. I knew it was like 3 letters that I would never remember. How long Is that your full name? Like that whole sentence was your name, right? I can't tell. I don't know where your comment starts and your name starts. No, it was a sentence. Okay, so uh, because so my preview of my YouTube and how I view my chat is on my tablet, which is next to my setup. So it doesn't display the name differently than the sentence very well. Okay, I can barely see the difference if I like stare at it for like 3 seconds. So, but my normal quick glance could not determine that. But I don't know if you play MGS. I don't know what MGS is. Well, probably not. Or MGs, I should say. I don't know what an MG is. Did I play Metal Gear Solid? Oh, if that's what that's standing for. I played a bit of it back when I actually had. Oof, that's a long time ago. Back when I actually had time to play video games. I don't. No, Metal Gear Solid wasn't the one for PlayStation, was it? Was that Solid? I know like there are so many Metal Gears, or there's at least one Metal Gear that I know of that I never played. I don't know if that was Solid. It's been a few years now since I've played a like really sat down and played a video game. No time these days. It's the whole reason I'm drawing at night. This is literally all the time I have to myself. Which was the Metal Gear that he had uh the horn from like the helicopter? That's the one I never played. I remember playing the one for the PlayStation that the boss was like Mantis or something, or some type of bug name. Am I even thinking of the right series? I don't know anymore. The demon horns were in 5. Oh, okay. So yeah. What was that one called? Cause like I remember reading that in like what is it called? Like a game article, and I was like, that sounds so dumb. Like putting an evil system in a game where you're just like constantly killing people. Okay, to each their own. I don't know if people like that. I don't think I would go for that because like, well, I mean, Metal Gear, like especially with that boss that was like telepathic or something. I forget. Was he like actually telepathic, or I don't remember if he had like something that like he claimed he was telepathic. But man, it's been a while since I even heard Metal Gear. Oh, and then like, didn't they have like an MMO come out like recently? Not like an MMO, but like a there was something that like people really hated. I never got into it. Shows you how much I paid attention in video games. It's funny, like games that have hardly a story, like Metroid, or at least the original Metroid. I played the hell out of. The last like big story game that I played was like probably Mass Effect. Zombie survival shooter after Kojima was fired. Oh, that's right. That's right. Kojima was fired for that project, or had left. I don't. Was he fired? I thought he just left. That's crazy if he was fired. Which Mass Effect? 1, 2, and 3. Never played Andromeda. Heard it was trash. I actually heard rumors that they're making a fourth one. Or they confirmed that they're making a fourth one? I forget. Like, with actual Shepard. So, maybe it can make a comeback, but from what I understand, it's no longer the same BioWare that made the original Mass Effects. Like, their whole team is different. So, who knows? And then the remake is coming out. I'm like, man, I love those games, but I don't have time to actually play it nowadays. It's funny because I think I actually own Andromeda. I think I got it on sale for $10. Like, even though I knew it was trash, I was like, even a trash game is worth $10, right? And I never played it. But I do have fond memories of Mass Effect for sure. At least from what I can remember. Definitely a good way to spend $10. Well, I mean, I never played it, so I don't know about that. I think I got like 10 minutes in and I was like, I don't know about this. So let's turn off the weighted. It's like nowadays there's games I want to play for sure. If I ever get time, I would love to. Like, I know there's a new Monster Hunter that came out. I'm like, man, I actually really enjoy Monster Hunter. I would love to sink some teeth into that game. Looks really fun from what I watch people play. Rise for the Switch? Yeah. Well, I say for the Switch, but I also know it's coming to the PC, no? Like, a little bit later. Yeah, but, uh, like, they confirmed it's for the Switch. I mean, for the PC as well, so, at least from what I saw. But Monster Hunter is a really fun game to me. I don't know. There's just something about nonsensical violence. Doesn't really have to make sense. Like, I'm sure there's stories for Monster Hunter. Did I ever pay attention to it? Nope. I'm one of those weirdos. Like, I played a bit of World. I think that's what it was called. On the PC. I skipped every cutscene. I was like, just get me into a fight. Let's go. People are always saying like, oh, look at the cute like animations of the cats and everything, and I was like, I don't care. Let me fight a monster. Alright, I think the only thing I'm missing are the eyes, which I may keep off of the main layer. That way, when I do the skin, it can go completely over it. But then when I do the eyes, I can just kind of paint over it on a different mask layer. So I think I'm gonna keep the eyes completely off of the sketch or the line art. And just keep it in the background. Other than that, I think we're finally done. At least with the line art. And then I can start coloring it again tomorrow. Because it's already, yeah, it's already pretty late. That was fun. That was a lot of talking. But man, that got me through this process. But anyway, I think I'm gonna call it here. Now that I've kind of reached my lull of talking. It was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for jumping out, and shout out to the dude changing his name, whatever he decides his name is nowadays. Ooh, nice little random poppin'. Anyway, good night. And because I suck at outros, I'm just going to end it here.